In 1947, on her 21st birthday, she pledged in a broadcast from Cape Town to the Commonwealth to devote her life, whether it be short or long, to the service of her peoples. That promise of lifelong service I renew to you all today. As the Queen herself did with such unswerving devotion, I too now solemnly pledge myself, throughout the remaining time God grants me, to uphold the constitutional principles at the heart of our nation.
In his acceptance speech, King Charles III vowed unwavering loyalty, love, and respect in his service as long as life would allow him. Acknowledging the inevitability of death while committed to duty, His Majesty's funeral preparations were initiated soon after the passing of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, known discreetly as Operation Menai Bridge. Operation Menai Bridge, named after a Welsh suspension bridge, is the coded framework for plans related to the eventual passing of King Charles III. Established in 1969 during Prince Charles's investiture as the Prince of Wales, this operation outlines protocols for the announcement of the monarch's death, the official mourning period, and the details of the state funeral. Originally conceived to address the scenario where the reigning monarch, that is Queen Elizabeth II, outlived the heir, the provisions are now being revisited since the prince is now king. Operation Menai Bridge details haven't been leaked as of yet, but they will likely be very similar to Operation London Bridge, the code name used for the Queen's death. On the day King Charles dies, it is expected that his family will be informed first, followed by the Prime Minister and Cabinet. News will then travel to Commonwealth countries and governments, where the King is head of state, and finally the Press Association comprising the Prime Minister's official announcement of the monarch's death, followed by breaking news on BBC. Regardless of the order in which people find out, when King Charles dies, a note will be pinned to the gates of Buckingham Palace. Flags will also be lowered to half-mast until the sun sets on the day of the state funeral. The King's death will bring significant changes in titles. The heir, Prince William Arthur Philip Louis, opting to use his first name, would ascend as King William V. Prince George Alexander Louis, the King's firstborn and heir, is poised to take on the role of the Prince of Wales. And should Queen Consort Camilla outlive her husband, she would assume the title of Dowager Queen, a title bestowed upon the widow of the king. The government, acknowledging the weight of the nation's grief, is expected to announce a period of national mourning until the sun sets on the day of the state funeral, which is also expected to be a bank holiday. The king's funeral will be held 9 days after his death. As King William V assumes the throne amidst the burden of grief and the responsibilities that come with the crown, he will make his inaugural address. In this pivotal moment, he is bound to express gratitude for his father's lifetime of service and acknowledge the weighty legacy he inherits, embracing the challenges of his newfound role. This maiden speech is certain to resonate with a blend of homage to the past and commitment to the future. At St. James Palace, the Accession Council will assemble to oversee the formalization of the new monarch's ascent. Following this, the revered Garter King of Arms will make a public proclamation from the balcony above Friary Court. This declaration will echo in Edinburgh, Cardiff, and Belfast. Subsequently, King William V and Queen Consort Catherine will commence their accession tour of the kingdom, journeying through Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. Irrespective of the location of the king's passing, the established protocol dictates that his remains will be transported back to London, the administrative hub of the monarchy. While the details remain undisclosed, there exists a potential provision for repatriating the monarch's remains to London in the event of his demise outside of England, mirroring the Queen's Operation Unicorn, which facilitated the transfer of her remains from Scotland to England. Upon return, the king is slated to lie in state, affording the public an opportunity for viewing and paying respects until the day of the state funeral. Additionally, there is a contemplation of a vigil by his sons, the princes, as part of the mourning process and tradition. In anticipation of the state funeral, King William is set to welcome world leaders from the realms and the Commonwealth, possibly hosting them for a regal state banquet at Buckingham Palace. On the funeral day, the lying in state will conclude at Westminster Hall, followed by a solemn military procession to Westminster Abbey. The funeral service, akin to the Queen's ceremony, will be officiated by the Dean of Westminster, featuring a sermon delivered by the Archbishop of Canterbury. Post-service, a majestic procession will ensue, leading to Windsor Castle for a committal service at St. George's Chapel, where His Majesty will be lowered in the royal vault, his final resting place, marking the culmination of the poignant ceremony.